Could the Chargers' offensive line be gearing up for a major shakeup? With key positions in question and free agency just around the corner, a potential shift at center might reshape the entire unit. Today, I'm diving into what this means for the team, how it could impact their performance, and the options on the table. Let's get into it. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. When Harbaugh came on as the Chargers head coach, there were a lot of big decisions to make right out of the gate. The center position is one of those key decisions. Picking up Bradley Bozeman in free agency was a solid move to fill that spot, but his performance last season could be summed up as good, not great. This offseason, the focus has to be on improving the offensive line. Everyone knows that the Chargers have two standout tackles. Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt are arguably some of the best in the league right now. Their presence on the edges is a significant strength. However, when opposing defenses see a strong tackle duo like that, the natural adjustment is to attack the middle. And that's exactly where the pressure came last season, straight up the middle. While the interior line held its ground at times, it wasn't consistent enough. It's an area that needs to be more solid if the Chargers want to elevate their offense this year. Now let's break down the individual players and their performances, which were good at times and inconsistent at others. Joe Hortiz specifically addressed this issue, and it's worth noting that most mock drafts I've come across suggest the Chargers might target either a tight end or an interior offensive lineman with their 22nd pick. How that plays out remains to be seen, but Hortiz has been very clear his priority is ensuring the team is prepared and ready to compete. That said, I wouldn't be surprised if the team addresses the offensive line through free agency. Whether it's a guard, a center, or perhaps even both, shoring up that interior line is essential. Adding two guards is also a possibility, and that decision could significantly impact how the team approaches the season. Let's shift the focus back to the offensive line room, specifically Bradley Bozeman, the man of the hour. Here's a prediction. When the Chargers brought in Bozeman, it was part of an effort to keep things straightforward for a new coaching staff. When you're starting fresh, simplicity is key, and Bozeman fit that mold. He was brought in specifically as a center, with no consideration for him to play another position. Part of that decision likely stemmed from Greg Roman, who was familiar with Bozeman and believed he could handle the role. During camp, while there was some rotation to cross-train linemen and explore their versatility, a common practice mentioned repeatedly by Jim Harbaugh, Bozeman remained primarily at center. This consistency was crucial. As the center, Bozeman was responsible for making key calls on pass protection, run-blocking schemes, and overall line adjustments. It's a pivotal role, and you don't want to disrupt it mid-season unless absolutely necessary. The coaching staff committed to Bozeman early in camp and stuck with him for the entire season. As I've said before, Bozeman's performance was good but not great. He was solid, but there's definitely room for improvement. His Pro Football Focus PFF numbers reflect that, though I sometimes take those metrics with a grain of salt. Toward the end of the season, there were signs of progress, but the big question remains, is Bradley Bozeman the long-term solution at center? Now, Bradley Bozeman is a free agent, and it's unclear whether he'll return. Joe Hortiz has expressed interest in bringing him back, though I can't recall the exact wording he used. However, the sentiment was clear. Hortiz values Bozeman as someone who provides depth and has shown growth over time. Bozeman has experience playing both guard and center, which adds versatility to his profile, but let's be honest, he's a good, not great player. So what's the plan at this point? Do the Chargers go after two guards in free agency, or do they look at internal options? It's something I've talked about as well, even going back to when Zion Johnson was drafted. Here's the interesting part. Zion actually has experience playing center. During his time at Boston College, he played multiple positions, including center. There are also a couple of other players on the team who could potentially step into that role. Carson Barnhart and Bucky Williams, both currently on the practice squad, have shown some potential. So the real question is this. Do you move Zion Johnson to center, or do you keep him at left guard? Now, I'm not saying that's definitely what will happen, but Joe Hortiz did mention that Zion has been working on playing center recently. In fact, Zion took a few snaps at center during camp last year, though not a lot. From what I've seen, centers today need to be more agile than in the past. Back in the day, centers were typically larger and more physical. Now, athleticism and quickness are just as important as strength. That's where Zion could be a great fit. He's incredibly strong, athletic, and fast qualities you want in a center. What really sets him apart, though, is his intelligence. Zion has a degree in cybersecurity, which speaks volumes about his ability to process information and think critically. Key traits for a center, who is essentially the quarterback of the offensive line. The more I think about it, the more Zion seems like a solid option to take on the role of center. Let's see how things unfold as the team continues to evaluate its options. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.